Everyone, this is Gerard, aka Filipinos editor-in-chief of Filipino Soul Magazine, aka SGIB Magazine. Stand for Soldiers Got Intentions, believe that, because everyone should be soldiering for something. A dream, a goal, an idea, a train of thought, something. And owning PPG's Productions and stand for Photos by Gerard, the best and freelance publicity photography. And editor and CEO of the Burrow Corporation, my not-for-profit entity. That's Burrow, B-E-R-Y-L, that stands for Be Ever Remembering Your Love. Okay, well right now I still am in Ayala, Philippines. It's a beautiful day. I know back there on the East Coast it's getting a little warmer. Congratulations, but not warm enough to be doing this on the outside. And that's what makes being here one of the gems. You know, last night went to one of the best discotheques, the best discotheques in Cebu, called Icon Discotheque. So, a matter of fact, that's where we did our promotional party and Ellie's birthday party, if you remember, a couple of Saturdays back. This February 17th, we're going to be back there again. I think I kind of like to rent the VIP area at least once a month there for promotional purpose for the magazine. The owner there, or the people there, had mentioned their interest in wanting to come into the magazine for advertisement, so that's a good thing. Keep my fingers crossed for that. But I kind of like wanted to have a place that everybody knows your name. I guess that's the best way to say it. Every time I go there, before I go there, I usually stop at the grocery store. I buy about 10 ice cream cones, and I give them to the security guard. And all that. We talk about 10 or 15 minutes outside. Just shooting the Willie Bobo. That's what it's called, shooting the Willie Bobo. And then last night I brought a young man from Belgium. His name's Stefan. Stefan came. We decided to have a boys' night out, and it was kind of very nice, very interesting. You know, I want to stop here and tell you about my GoFundMe. I thought I'm going to throw that in right here. Don't forget to check it out. If you want to support me, please, by all means. If not, still enjoy the magazine. It's still going to get done. So one way or the other, I'm just, trying something just to be trying it. But in doing that, one thing I've always done is that whenever I do something, I've always been in the habit of giving it my all. Not just 100%, my 101%. The same thing like when I decided to move too fast. When I was moving too fast in LA, where I started, I was trying to hold a job. I was trying to move too fast. I was trying to hold a job. I tried to hold two jobs, still move too fast. Once I started moving too fast, then when Gladys Knight wrote that song where I said Midnight Train to Georgia, because LA definitely will prove to be too much for the man. So the mother of my kids dying and we kind of packed up the van and kind of like the Beverly Hillbillies. I started moving to Beverly Hills. We went back to Oregon. She went back to Oregon. She flew back to Oregon with the kids, and I drove the U-Haul truck. And believe me, I'm moving too fast the whole trip. Stopping in San Francisco, about a day or so. I ran into some people I know from when I used to live there, and just kept on moving. So anyway, but the point I'm making is that, so once I got into New York, I was still under, of working and moving too fast. Working and moving too fast. Until finally in New York, I made a decision. I like to think that everything that happens to me in my life has been a conscious decision for me to make. And I remember standing on a diving board and said, if I'm going to move too fast, I'm going to do it 101%. And I quit my job, stopped working, and I just became, I guess some people might call it a street urchin. And that's what I decided to do it. It was my conscious decision. There comes a time where you can't do something and stop and do something, and and knowing you still want to do this, you have to make a decision to either go all the way or not. And so that's one of the things that I'm very grateful for mine to be able to do. It's like when I was in here on the treadmill, I had it in my mind I wanted to do 30 minutes. I can do up to 40 minutes if someone's talking beside me. I noticed that if someone's talking to me, I probably can run all day on the fucking thing. On the thing. But if I do it by myself, I've been doing 15 minutes, 10 minutes, because I don't have that motivation or the discipline. But today I decided that I wanted to do that 30 minutes. And then of course, when it got to 15 minutes, I said, well, I do 30 minutes is my goal. And then I got to 25 with 30 is my goal. And I made it. So this is my first day. Congratulate me. First day doing actually a whole 30 minutes by myself on the treadmill. So the reason I said I'm telling you all this is because in doing the GoFundMe, I figure I'll do it 101%. Now, what I mean by that means that I saw a segment up there where it says you can post a video. So I said, okay. Some of you know on my Facebook, I already changed my Facebook page photograph where I have all the copies of my magazines on there. So that way, it says something along the line, what I've been doing since 1999 and getting out of prison and no handcuffs on since then. This is what I've been doing, you know what I'm saying? In other words, this is how I spend this is what I enjoy doing. I'm a photographer. Photography is pretty much, up to anyone who has a phone right now. But one thing, like I said, that they don't have is the rich history of photography and photographs that I have that separates me from them. And I'm very proud of that, and I don't want to lose that. So rather than trying to get myself published, because that's what I was all about. I was all about credits. I love picking up a magazine and see photos by Gerard. I love picking up a newspaper and see photos by Gerard. I live for that. Now when there's an event, there's usually a whole room of photographers with laptops. As one goes takes a picture, the other one downloads it and sends it out to all the news media. It's like a press corps. You got the people shooting in the front, and you got the ones posted in the back. So my chances of being able to get something published is slim to none. So that's why I decided to put my magazine together, and that's why I do it, because I still want to see my name in print. But anyway, getting back to GoFundMe. It had a shot on the air where it talked about video. And I put all my covers on there. So I said, oh, you want a video? So I said, I know. I'll use this opportunity to talk about each issue of my magazine over the years. Talk about who's in them. Talk about some of the stories behind them. For instance, the very first magazine that I put out, the first $300 check I got for advertisement bounced. So there are a lot of other stories in that. I should have not so much read the handwriting on the wall, but that's just that is a wake up to let me know I'm going to be traveling down some bumpy roads. But my biggest mistake about publishing my magazine from the very beginning was two. Because I didn't know much about graphics, I hired a girl called Cynthia. And Cynthia was a graphic artist. And I made a deal with her to design the magazine. She charged me roughly about $2,500 or $2,000, I can't remember what it was, to design the magazine. Now, each month, because I was going to do a monthly magazine, which was my mistake. You should never put out a monthly without a monthly worth of advertisement in the magazine. But in the beginning, I had Kiss FM radio station. I'll show it to you and tell you more about it. Kiss FM radio station was one of the reasons why I put the magazine, because I had the station manager who was behind me, who was going to pump an advertisement to the magazine. At that time, I was Tanya Simpson's personal photographer. But Kiss FM is owned by Innis radio station, or Innis Corporation. They own radio stations all around the country as far as television. They're a media outlet, I guess, in lieu of saying anything else. So what happened was that he got transferred to Texas that first month. And when he got transferred to Texas, everything that we had said that we were going to do as far as getting this magazine out went with it. But because I took that $300 check for that one cat that later bounced, I was obligated to put the magazine out. One thing about me is that I can talk about putting the magazine out. I can work on putting the magazine out. But until I take that first dollar, I'm not committed to no one to put that magazine out other than myself. So that's how I've always been. If someone gave me one.
Here, catcher.
Bob, no, what do you think? You're Michael Jackson? I'll see you Sunday.
That was good.
That was Bob. He's American. He has a little child with him. Holding over the mouth. Catcher, not holding it over, but saying catcher. I said, what do you think? You're Michael Jackson? So anyway, so getting back to, unless I take that first dollar, I'm not obligated to anyone to put it out. So anyway, because Kiss FM moved out of the magazine, they not left me putting the whole magazine. But the girl, let me get back to Cynthia. Okay, so I made this deal with Cynthia. So I'm working with her. She's putting it together, all this stuff like this, whatever. See, I didn't know much about publishing. You know, I learned as I went along. Once I designed the shell of the magazine, like now, I have a formula, I have a shell, I have a layout for the magazine. Then there's no more designing the magazine. So when the second month came, I'm saying, Cynthia, why do I have to pay you $2,000? The magazine's already designed. Oh, because we signed the contract. I said, Cynthia, I said, you're gonna hold me to that? I said, you don't have to design it anymore. There's nothing to design. $2,000. So, of course, you know, not only did I had to fight putting the magazine out, but I had to fight paying her this $2,500 or $2,000 a month for a magazine that she didn't have to design no more. Because I had to shout. All I do is moving stuff in, and she tightened it up. And I didn't know much about moving articles and all that stuff. I mean, she was a tremendous help. Don't get me wrong, she was a tremendous help. But that sister took me to the cleaners because I didn't know. You know, she took me to court when she didn't have to. I was paying. I would have paid. You know, I pay all my debt. There's only one person in this world who I owe money to, and that's Randy Jones from the Village People. I still owe him $200. Randy, I'm gonna pay you that $200. But on the same token, Lionel Richie owes me $200, and also Marilyn McCool and Billy Davis Jr. owe me money. But this is not what it's about. But the point of the matter is that this gave me an opportunity to really want to put the magazine up forever. Unlike Facebook, I understand that if you're on Facebook and what have you, if you don't use it over a period of time, many years, it gets deactivated automatically. But on YouTube, it'll stay up there. So I'm going to look at this as an opportunity to leave my legacy as far as my magazines. Because 100 years from now, I want them to know that Gerard made a difference in this world. I want them to know that Gerard did something in this world. I want them to know that Gerard left something in this world. Unfortunately, not like leaving some type of event, annual event or something that eventually go away. I did have SGIB Magazine Help Make a Dream Come True Awards that I did, patented from Bonnie. And you know, Bonnie is the founder of the pre-Grammy party. She was Mr. James Brown's manager and personal assistant and editor of his magazine called The Truth, that I was the East Coast representative of. And Bonnie, we know if there's a heaven up above, you're teaching people how to network. So that's one thing I'm really going to give it my 101% all to do this video for each magazine and talk about the artists who are in it. I'll talk about the experience of doing it. Some of the people, like for instance, in my second issue, I decided to want to put a white artist on the cover of my magazine because I never wanted my magazine to be I guess targeting, and the reason I hesitate, because when I put my first magazine, I had a friend, actually not a friend, she was the president of the NAACP named Yvonne Quirk. She knew someone who literally worked on Wall Street, in Madison Avenue with advertisement, and took my magazine there, and we sat there, and he looked at my magazine like this. He said, "This magazine is a disaster." I said, "What do you mean it's a disaster?" He says, "Who are you targeting? You're not targeting senior citizens, the Geritol crowd. You're not targeting hip-hop. Who are you targeting?" He says, "In order for this to be successful, you have to target." I said, "I disagree." I said, "We are now in the age," remember this back in like 2000 or something like that. I said, "We are in the age of social media. Social media doesn't target. Social media just puts it out there. And I think there is a vehicle to put a publication down on the kitchen table where everyone in that household can find something of interest in it." So anyway, That's what I ended up doing, putting the magazine together. I was told it was a disaster. But I'm looking forward to doing that because I want to leave the magazine up there for forever and a day. So look forward for that video. I keep wanting to do it at night because I want the ambiance of a little glow light on me. Ooh. But it seems like that's not going to work out. I think I better start it because it's going to take longer than a day. And I got a couple of surprises for you. I'm going to show you something that, well, we'll just see. All right, this is Gerard, editor-in-chief of Filipino Soul Magazine. Remember, dreams are nothing more than plans awaiting action. Never disrespect the elderly and always pull someone up. And sometimes, you will be the only one to see your vision. And the best revenge in life is to live good. I'm living good today. I don't know about you. And if you're lucky enough to have a woman like Ollie Woodson, former lead singer of The Temptations, once sung, treat her like a lady. And ladies, if you're lucky enough to have a good man, make him feel like a king. I'll talk to you later. Peace.